Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. BMW is about to introduce a completely new generation of the BMW X1. But for the first time ever, they're also going to be introducing a fully electric version of the X1, the iX1. And that's this car standing next to me. In this video, I'm going to be telling you all about this fully electric compact BMW. I'm going to take you through the interior, the exterior, and we're going to be talking about the specifications on this car. And so let's start with the most important question: what is the range of the BMW iX1? Yeah, so let's get straight into the numbers of this EV. For now, I only have the figures of the BMW iX1 xDrive 30. That is the version that will be released later in 2022, somewhere around in the fall. Now, BMW won't tell me how big the battery is on this car, but they will tell me the range. It will do 438 kilometers on a full charge, which is about 272 miles. Now the car uses around 17 to 18 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers, so that tells me that the battery is around 70 plus kilowatt hours. Now charging can be done up to 22 kilowatt hours AC, and it can fast charge up to 130 kilowatts. Then let's do some more figures. This particular version here has four-wheel drive because it has xDrive. As you probably know, xDrive means four-wheel drive at BMW. So this car has an electric motor on the front axle and also on the rear axle. Now the total system output of this car is 330 horsepower and around 500 newton meters of torque. It will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to around 60 miles an hour in 5.7 seconds. And it will do a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour, which is just a little bit faster than the biggest competitors in Germany will do, which is the Mercedes-Benz EQA and the Audi Q4 e-tron, which will do 160 kilometers an hour. Now, of course, there's also a regular X1, a completely new X1, which still uses a combustion engine. You can get that car with a diesel or a petrol engine, but also a mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrain. Now, the plug-in hybrid version can do 89 kilometers of pure electric driving, so around 55 miles. Now, the top version of the X1 is actually the plug-in hybrid version, which has 326 horsepower, so even a bit more than the electric version, and it will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in the same time, so 5.7 seconds. So enough figures, enough numbers, let's look at the design of the iX1. So let's do a little tour around the car. Now on the new X1 and also on this iX1, you get this new and big grille. Obviously the grille is bigger than on previous X1 models because, well, that's what BMW does nowadays. They make the grille bigger and make it look more aggressive. Now it's still a lot smaller than the grille that you get on the fully electric i4 or the iX, but it's still bigger than the grille that you got on the previous X1. Now on this electric version you get this blue accents around the grille, and also the grille is completely closed off because, well, the car doesn't need that much cooling as the regular X1 that has like a petrol or diesel engine. Now you get these LED lights as standard, but you can also get laser lights. And down here below in the bumper you also get these blue accents again to show that you have the electric version of the X1. Here on the side of the car you get these flush door handles, which look, well, pretty cool if you ask me, but they're of course also good for aerodynamics, so that saves a little bit of range. And you also get these flush door handles on the regular X1, by the way. Now at the back of the car you get this big spoiler that will reduce drag and turbulence behind the car, again good for aerodynamics. Also at the back you get this aggressive and slim looking tail lights, and also down here below you get some blue accents on the bumper, and you get a bit of a diffuser in the middle. Now obviously you don't have a tailpipe here on the back of this electric version, but also on the regular version of the X1 you don't get an exhaust at the back anymore, and not just on the plug-in hybrid version but also on the regular gas and diesel versions of the X1. Then let's have a look at the cargo space. There's 490 liters here of cargo space, which is about 50 liters less than you get on the regular X1, except if you go for the plug-in hybrid version of the X1, then you also have 490 liters, just like this electric version. Here in the back of the iX1, just like with the regular X1, there is plenty of space for, well, even 3 adults, I would say. I am 1 meter 80, 180 centimeters, and I've got the seat in the same seating position as I would use it, and I've got plenty of leg room, and I can also sit comfortably here in the middle, especially because there's barely like a hump here in the middle. Because xDrive on this car basically means there's no like center axle, there's just a motor in the back and a motor in the front that are not connected. Now you get an armrest here in the middle, 2 cup holders, 2 modern USB-C ports, and I would say that's basically it here in the back. Besides the fact that there's this big panoramic roof here that I really like, that makes this car feel very spacious when you're sitting here in the back seats. The iX1 is basically completely the same car as the X1, except for the powertrain, which is of course electric on this version, and on the X1 you can choose whatever you want except fully electric, because then you get this car. The interior is also completely the same, so you get the curved display that you know from the iX and the BMW i4 and also the BMW 2 Series Active Tour. That means you get this big screen, like I said, the curved display. It looks very pretty indeed. You got two screens here. You got one digital gauge closely in front of you, and you get this infotainment system here in the middle. Now the infotainment system is pretty fast. It looks very nice. You got very sharp graphics. I really like the interface of it, although it can be a little bit complicated if you're new to the car, but soon enough you will find how it works and where everything is located. Now what I really like here is that you get the space down here where you can put your mobile phone. Here it can charge, but there's like a little clip that you can pull back and then put your phone behind, and then the phone will stay fixed there. So when you're driving through sharp corners, the phone is not going everywhere. Now you got this new steering wheel in the center here that looks pretty sporty, and you get again the blue outlining around the BMW logo, and some buttons here for the audio system, and also some buttons for the adaptive cruise control. Here in the center you got a floating center console with a bit of a cubby space down here in the middle. It's quite shallow, so it's not that useful, maybe for some change and some keys and stuff like that. You get some buttons here in the center console as well. You don't get the iDrive button here, the iDrive dial, which is a bit of a shame because I personally like that. But I guess you can also use voice control as well if you don't want to use your fingers on the screen and just use voice control to activate certain things. You do get some buttons down here, a volume button and a little lever that you can use to put the car in park, drive, neutral, and of course there's also a start button here as well. Now if you don't want to charge your phone wirelessly, there's also two USB-C ports down here, and there's a big space down here just beneath the center console. Now what really stands out here in the interior is not just the curved display, so the massive screen that you got here, but also the air vents. You got an air vent here on the left side, you got an air vent here in the center, but also two right in front of the passenger seat, which looks a little bit odd, to be honest. I don't say I don't like it, it actually looks kind of funky, especially with this aluminium trim around it, which is probably, yeah, it's probably plastic, but still looks pretty classy with some glossy black finish all around it. But I do have to say, it's just a little bit different than what you're used to in a BMW. It really stands out. So that's basically everything you need to know about the iX1. Now if you want to know more about the X1, the regular version, so to speak, you have to check out my other video that I made specifically about this orange car, the new 3rd generation X1. I will leave a link in the description box below so you can check it out. Now if you like this video about the iX1, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and then I'll see you in the next one.